Hello guys, welcome to Net Experts. My name is Sudhanshu Kapoor. Today I'm going to start 18th lecture of Microsoft Windows Server 2019 series. In the previous lecture, we learned about DHCP servers in Server 2019 Part 1. In this lecture, we are going to learn about DHCP server in Server 2019 Part 2. Let's start the session, guys. Okay, so in previous lecture, we learned about the basic DHCP services. Okay, basic DHCP components, how to install DHCP, how to configure DHCP, what is DHCP, and all the stuffs. Now in this lecture, we need to understand some advanced things. Now we need to understand first in DHCP is known as relay agent. What is DHCP relay agent? Relay agent. So if we talk about the DHCP relay agent, actually what happens, like if I'll tell you that like imagine that I have multiple networks in my organization, as you can see that. Okay, I have multiple networks or multiple subnets, as you can see that. I have only one network like this. This is my network. Okay, and this network divides in two subnets. Okay, we can call it, we have three subnets like this. We can go for two subnets. Okay, like this, we have divided this network to two subnets. Okay, now this is my complete network, as you can see that. Okay, now I am using over there is my subnet. I can call this subnet is known as subnet 1. Okay, and I call this subnet is known as subnet 2. I divide my network, as you can see that I divide my network in two subnets, subnet 1 and subnet 2. Okay, now what happens in that case? Now in subnet 1, my DHCP server is running over there. This is my DHCP server is running in my subnet 1. That is the DHCP server is running in subnet 1. I have imagined that 100 clients. 100 clients are running, and these DHCP server provides IP address to these 100 clients. Okay, now we have a subnet 2 as well. Over there we have 200 clients. Imagine in subnet 2 I have 200 clients. Now I need to provide the IP address also, but I have only one DHCP server. So remember always that with the help of one DHCP server, one DHCP server not provide IP address between two subnets simultaneously. Understood? Like imagine in that we have two scopes. I can create two scopes, scope 1 for subnet 1 and scope 2 for subnet 2. Now what happens in that case? Now DHCP server at one time it provides IP address to one scope only, to one subnet only. Either I can provide subnet 1 or either I can provide subnet 2. DHCP is not able to provide IP address both the subnets simultaneously. It's not able to. So what we need in that case, we need DHCP relay agent. So I need one system over there, I need one server over there. That server is working as DHCP relay agent. It is used to provide the IP address to different subnets. Now what this relay agent do? This relay agent contact with the DHCP server. Okay, the DHCP server sends their subnet 2 IP address to this relay agent, and then this relay agent provides the subnet 2 IP address in these clients, and this DHCP server provides the subnet 1 IP address on subnet 1, and this relay agent provides the IP address on subnet 2, like this. This relay agent contacts with the DHCP server. So we can use relay agent to provide the IP address remotely or different subnets, as you can see that. If you have different subnets, or if you have remote locations, so one DHCP server not able to provide the IP address on all the locations simultaneously. So we need in that case DHCP relay agent. Okay, if I need to install DHCP relay agent, what I need to configure DHCP relay agent, I need routing and remote access services. Okay, this is services name RRAS, routing and remote access services. With the help of that services, I configure DHCP relay agent. So in my upcoming lectures, when we cover this services, routing and remote access services, then I'll showing you how we can install DHCP relay agent as well. Okay, so with the help of relay agent, what we can do, we can provide the IP address on remote locations, because my DHCP server is not able to provide the IP address simultaneously on two subnets or two locations, as you can see that. Okay, now next thing we need to understand is that DHCP logging. We have a DHCP logging logs files also. If I need to check my DHCP log files, DHCP logging. So by default DHCP creates some log files. Okay, log files means like if I need to check the DHCP server whether it is working properly or not, so DHCP maintains the log files. Okay, like this, the log file name is DHCP log. Okay, that's like, now imagine that it starts with Sunday, sun, sun, Sunday for sun. Like we have go for the DHCP log Monday, like this. We go for DHCP log Tuesday, like this. Okay, when Sunday comes again, he overwrite the previous Sunday log file. DHCP overwrite the previous Sunday log file, and then he overwrites the previous week log file and write the new files, as you can see that. Okay, number second, we need to understand the DHCP database as well. So DHCP database are saves in C drive, Windows, System32. Over there we have that folder DHCP. Okay, so DHCP database file is known as, this is the DHCP database file is dhcp.mdb. This is the DHCP database file. MD means managed database. Okay, so this is the database file. It saves in C drive. I'll showing you. Okay, so as you can see that I have the server 2, which have a DHCP services. Okay, I just log in with my server 2. As you can see that I go open my file explorer. Over there we have the option open C drive, Windows. I thought over there we have no System32. On System32 we have the DHCP folder is there. As you can see, the DHCP folder is there. Open this folder and you have the file name dhcp.mdb. Okay, as you can see that they maintain the log files also. DHCP serve log.-Tuesday. This is for IPv4 and this is for IPv6. Okay, so according to this server, today is Tuesday now it's Wednesday, I hope, 22. So now you can go for that. So like if I open this file, so they gives me all the information when your DHCP service start, when your DHCP services gives the IP address. See, as you can see that it assigned the IP address 1.1.25 to this particular client. After that we can it's assigned the IP address 1.1.10 to this client. Okay, like this. But they gives you all the information about these logs. This is the log file we have. Okay, and this is the database file. This is the database file of DHCP, like this. Okay, so we need to understand these things, logging and DHCP database. Next we need to understand is we have the two options in DHCP. Okay, I need to open my another pane. Just look at that. Now see, we have the other options. We have two options, very important options in DHCP. Not two, it's three. One is first DHCP scopes, scope options. Okay, so in that I'll showing you. If I open my DHCP server, close it this. As you can see that we have the option scope options. Okay, in this, if I need to add my DNS server IP addresses, like imagine if I right click on that and click on configure options, we have the option, so many options are there. If like right now I don't have any router IP address, I imagine that after creating this scope, I have a router also. In my network, I have a router also. So I need to assign the router IP address in the particular scope, which is already created, scope 1. So I can use over there. I just click on that, check this router, give the router IP address over there. Like imagine my router IP address is 10.1.1.100, and I click on add over there and click on apply. Now as you can see that it's added the router IP addresses also. So once this DHCP server provide IP address to the clients, through this scope. So what happens? They gives the router IP addresses also to all the clients. Okay, like if you have a name server, time servers. Okay, you have a DNS, like DNS servers also. We have two DNS server IP addresses also. Like imagine right now I have three DNS servers, so I need to add the other DNS servers also in this. Okay, so means the concept is that after creating the scope also we can add the scope options. We can configure the scope options. Okay, fine, like this. Okay, now click on close. This is the scope options we have. Okay, now next we need to understand is DHCP split scope. Now split scope is used, you can say that it is used for load balancing the DHCP servers. Okay, like imagine that we have two DHCP servers in my network. This is my DHCP server 1 and we have a DHCP server 2. Okay, if I want that, like I have one scope. Imagine like this is my DHCP server, DHCP server 1, and we call this is DHCP server 2. Okay, now I configure one scope in my DHCP server 1. I have one scope. I have a scope 1 over there, and the range of the scope 1 is, like I go for down. I have a range of scope 1. In scope 1, I have a range like imagine 10.1.1.1 to 10.1.1.254. I define this range. Okay. Now I want that. Okay. I want to share this scope between these two servers. I want that. Like imagine I want that out of this scope, 40% IP address provided by this server 1, and rest 60% IP address is provided by server 2 in this scope. So I share this scope between these two servers. I share this scope in this server as well and this server as well. So if you want to go for load balance, then we can use split scope. But there is a disadvantage in this. Like imagine that if my this DHCP server is down, imagine. So what happens? My 40% IP address is down. You can see that. I'm not able to use that 40% IP addresses in that case. Okay, I'm able to use only 60% IP addresses. That's it. I'm not able to use 40% IP addresses in this kind of split scope we have. Okay, clear? Okay, so that is the issue we have. Okay, now next, I hope you're able to understand. So split scope is used to, you can say that I have one scope and I can, you can say that share that one scope from multiple servers, in multiple servers. Like imagine that I want that I have 3 DHCP servers, some IP address provided by DHCP server 1, some IP address provided by DHCP server 2, and some IP address provided by DHCP server 3. I share my similar scope to all the DHCP servers. That is known as for load balancing. This is for load balancing. Like I want that. Okay, now I want that. Okay, these two servers provide 50 IP address, percent IP addresses. 50% provided by this server and 50% provided by this server. Okay, but the question is that, but the problem is that if I'm using this server, this scope, so what happens in that case? If my DHCP server 1 is down, so all my 50% IP address, I'm not able to use this 50% IP addresses anymore. This is the issue in split scope. Okay, now if we talk about now this is the split scope we have. Okay, now we talk about number third option. We have DHCP failover also. It gives you failover option also. Failover starts in 2016 onwards. Okay, this feature starts in 2016 onwards. It is used to provide high availability on DHCP servers. High availability means, like imagine, now what is the meaning of high availability over there? Like imagine that I have again 2 DHCP servers with me. I have 2 DHCP servers. Just wait. Okay. Now I have two DHCP servers like this. This is the DHCP server 1 and this is the DHCP server 2 we have. This is the DHCP server 1 and we have a DHCP server 2. Okay. Now if I use over there, like imagine I can use the scope 1 over there and the scope is my 10.1.1.12 10.1.1.254. This is my scope I'm using in my DHCP server 1. Okay, now DHCP server is my so in that case what I'm doing in failover in that case, that this is my active server, as you can see that this is my active server, or you can call it my primary server, primary DHCP server, and this is my standby server, as you can see that standby server. Okay, once I using failover, so what happens in that case, this scope information are saved in server 2 as well, but it's not running, it's in standby mode. Once my active server is down, so we have a standby server is automatically becoming a active server. It's automatically active and provide the same IP address range to the clients. This is known as failover. Failover means if my one server is down, second server is up and provide the same resources. That is what we have a failover. Understood? So we can use failover and split scope option also in this. Okay, these are the two very good options in DHCP servers. Okay, we have a split scope and failover. So we can use this. Split scope is for load balancing and failover is provide the high availability. Okay. Next we need to understand is the backup one. We have a backup option also, DHCP backup. We can take the backup also. If you want to backup your DHCP server, so we can go for backup also. We have the option in DHCP server backup option also, backup and restore. Backup and restore. We can take the backup of our database and we can restore the database as well. Okay, like this. Now if we talk about the DHCP database, number 5th we have a DHCP database. We already discussed about database in previous lecture, but if I talk about the DHCP database, so we have four files we need to understand in database. Number 1 is dhcp.mdb. It's one file, it's a database file, the main database file where DHCP saves their scopes and everything. Second is tmp.edb. Third, we need to understand the file name j50.log and j50 res ###.log. We need to understand these two files. And number 4th one we need to understand is j50.chk. These are the four files which is created in the DHCP folder. Okay, now if we talk about the dhcp.mdb, I already told you that it's a database file. It saves everything, any configuration you can do in DHCP server. Okay, it saves in dhcp.mdb. It's a database file. Number 2nd is a temp file. It's a temporary file. Okay, it saves it used for swapping, as you can see that. It used as a swap file. Swap file means it maintains the index, it maintains the operations of DHCP servers. Whatever DHCP we can do in DHCP server, it maintains all the operations. Okay, so it works as a swap file. Now J50 and J50 res is a log files. It maintains the database transactions. Transaction means whatever we can do in database. We can create a new scope, we can save the database, we can delete the new scope, we can create scope, we can delete scope, we can modify scopes, we can set the reservations. Okay, we can configure the scope options. So whatever we can do in the database, it maintains the transactions, whatever transactions we are doing in database. And the last we have a chk. Chk is a checkpoint file. Checkpoint means if you want to create a snapshot of DHCP servers or create a checkpoint of DHCP servers, we can use j50.chk. It maintains all the checkpoints. Okay, checkpoint means you can say that it's I just take a snapshot of my DHCP server. Okay, so we can use these. So these are the 4 files we need to understand. Okay, now I'll just check my server whether it is created or not. server 3, yes, it's created. I need to give the IP address. So right now I'm using the 3 servers. What happened? Password not match. Okay, at the rate issue. My mistake. Just wait. I need to sign the IP address again. By password abc@123. I hope it's this time is correct. Yes. Yes. So my server 3 is ready now. So for split scope and for failover, we need 2 servers. Okay, so one is my DC, so I'm not installing anything in my DC. I create 2 member servers. Okay, I can install DHCP server 1 in my member server 1 and DHCP install server 2 in my member server 2, and we can do split scope and failover practicals. Okay, first we can do failover and then we can do split scope. Okay, so let's make this server. So first I need to go for login in the server, and I can configure the IP address, and I make this server as a member server. Okay, so just wait for that. I do these things, and after that we'll start the practice. Okay, so as you can see that I have a 2 server 2. I have 3 servers now. Server 1 is my DC, server 2 is my member server 1. Okay, and server 3 is my member server 2. Server 2 IP address is 10.1.1.2 and server 3 IP address is 10.1.1.3, and we have one client over there. Okay, 10.1.1.3 is my server 3 IP address, and we have a client. This is my client. And it is for testing, as you can see that. Okay, so now as you can see that we already have a DHCP server is configured in server 2. In previously we already configured in server 2 DHCP server. Now for failover, what I need to install DHCP services on server 3 as well. Okay, because we need two DHCP servers for failover. So now I go for server 3, and I'm going to install DHCP services on server 3. I'm just installed DHCP services only. No, only DHCP services. I'm not configuring any DHCP services over there in server 3. I just install DHCP services. Then I go back to server 2, and I'm going to configure failover. I'll showing you how we can go for that. So first I'm going to install DHCP services on server 3. So I go for add roles and features, click on next again. Now right now I'm in member server 2 abc.com 10.1.1.3. I check DHCP server, add features, click on next. I enable automatic restart if required. Click on yes and install. So as you can see that it's installing DHCP services on server 3. I'm not configuring anything. I'm not creating any scope, any configure options, anything in server 3. Okay, in server 2 I installed DHCP services and configure also. Previously you already know that in previous lectures we configure DHCP scope 1 and all those stuffs. Okay, now in DHCP server 3 I'm just installing DHCP services. Fine, let's wait for install the DHCP service. It takes 2 to 3 minutes. So the DHCP services is installed. You can see that, like configure required, installation succeeded on some member server 02. Okay, so in my server 3 I installed successfully server DHCP services. Now I authorize my DHCP server. Same thing, I click on complete DHCP configuration, which they did in server 2 as well. Okay, now click on next. Now it's automatically taking my username and password, my server domain username and password. Now click on commit. As you can see that authorization DHCP server is done. Click on close, click on close now, click on close this. Okay, so as you can see that if I open my DHCP service over there, if I open my DHCP service, so in my DHCP console, as you can see that if I manage my DHCP, so there is no scope out there. See, in IPv6 also there is no scope. In IPv4 also I'm not getting any scope in server 3. I just installed DHCP services. Now I'm going to my server 2, and now I'm going to configure failover. So how we can configure failover? Just right click to the scope. We have the option at configure failover. We have the option configure failover. Just click on configure failover. Now right now I've configured failover on my DHCP scope 1. Okay, if you have multiple scopes, okay, or you want that I want to configure failover on all the scopes, so check this option, check select all. So if I have 3 scopes or 4 scopes, all scopes have configured failover automatically. If you want to go for dedicated one, so uncheck this and choose the scope on which you want to configure the failover option. Okay, right now I want that all the scopes configure under failover. Click on next now. Now they ask me my partner server. My partner server is server 3, so I need to add my partner server. I click on add over there. Click on browse. Okay, now define my partner server member. I click on check names after that. As you can see there, they're showing me we have 2 member servers, member server and member server 2. So my server 3 name is member server 02. I choose it, click on OK. Click on OK. So as you can see that this is my member server 2. Click on OK. So now it's adding my partner server. If I'm not installed DHCP services on my partner server, means in server 3, so he's not able to add server 3 in this. Okay, it takes near about 1 minute to check. Okay, you can see that, like, see, it's added now. Partner server 10.1.1.3, it's taking the IP address now. Click on next now, and you can see that the relationship name is member server abc.com to my partner server. Okay, we have a load balance. We are not using the load balance right now, we're using the hot standby. Hot standby means this server is becoming a hot standby right now. Okay, my partner server is a standby mode. Okay, if you want to active my partner server, we can go for active over there also. So it's automatically active. We can go for my partner server is in standby mode. Okay, I don't want any authentication right now. Just uncheck this. Click on next, and now you have the configuration. Click on finish. You can see that. Now you can see that add scopes on partner server successful. Disable scopes on partner server successful. So whatever scopes I am creating in server 2, I was created in server 2, it's automatically added in server 3 as well. Now click on close. Now I click on server 3, as you can see that, and if I refresh my this, so as you can see that the scope is also automatically there. See, the pool is also automatically there and it's automatically there. Okay, I just remove this exclude range. I don't want any exclude range right now. Okay, it's automatically removed over there as well. Let's refresh once. No, I need to remove this also then. Okay, I don't want to use any exclude range right now. Okay, now everything is fine. As you can see that everything is running now. Okay, so now they're showing me it's automatically giving the reservation range is running right now. Okay, so now what I need to do, now my reservation range is running within client. Okay, so let's see. Right now my client, like if I open my CMD first and I release the first I need to go for that. I go for ipconfig release. Okay, I remove the previous IP address with the help of release. Now I go to renew. So I already reserved the IP address for this client previously. So it takes that 10.1.1.10. We need to see where it's get the IP address. You can see that now this time it's take default gateway as well, because I'm adding the router also. Okay, now if I open my ncpa.cpl and if I'll check on which server he gets the IP address, it gets the IP address with server 2 10.1.1.2. my server 2 IP address is what? If I minimize this, so my server 2 IP address is 10.0.0.2. so he gets the IP address with 10.0.0.2. okay, now imagine that my server 2 is down. So what I do, I stop the DHCP services in my server 2, and let's see after that. I'm going to stop my DHCP server. I go to all tasks and click on stop. As you can see that it's stopping the DHCP server now. See, my DHCP server is stopped now. Now I go to my client again. and I go again on CMD, and I go for first release, okay, and then renew. Now it takes the same IP address because it's working in reservation range. So I go for settings, status, click on details, and now this time what happens? This time DHCP server 3 10.1.1.3 DHCP server gives him the IP address. As you can see that server 3 now. Now this is the server 3. As you can see that server 3. Now this server gives the IP address. Why? Because server 2 is stopped. Okay. Now this server is a standby mode. So once I stop the server 2, this server 3 is automatically in active mode and provides the same IP address. As you can see that is known as a failover. So see, it's providing the IP address with 10.1.1.3 server 3. Understood? This is what we have a failover. Now if I want to deconfigure the failover, if I want to stop the failover, so first I need to start this DHCP. If you need to remove the failover now, so how we can go for that? I just right click on that. We have the option deconfigure failover. So I go for deconfigure failover. Click on OK. Click on OK. As you can see that everything is removed in the server 3. Click on close. Now if I click on server 3 and open my DHCP server and I just refresh once, so as you can see that it's removed the scope which is automatically created. Okay. Now I go to configure the split scope. So how we can go for the right click on that. We have the option advanced and split scope option we have. Now DHCP split scope. Click on next now. Additional server. So my server is server 3. It's my member server. So go to browse. Give the server name member and click on check names. In that we have a server 2. Click on OK. OK. And OK. Now adding my server 2. Like same in I'm adding in the failovers. I'm same in the adding in the split scope as well. Okay. So as you can see, it's added now. Click on next. Now they ask me the percentage. Okay. Remember this image. Okay, this one is in this we have a split scope. Split scope we can go for percentage. Okay, so I'll showing you how we can go for percentage in that case. As you can see that they're asking me percentage 80-20. Right now the percentage is 80-20. So I want that 60-40. I want that 60 means my this server 2 provides 60% IP address and server 3 provides 40% IP address. As you can see that if you want to go 50-50, you can go 50-50 as well. You can go 50-50 as well. Okay, fine. So we can go 50-50. You can say that. Okay. Now click on next. Now DHCP server 1 provides 50% IP address and DHCP server 2 also provides 50% IP address. Okay. Now click on next. Okay. There is no delay. I don't want any delay. If my server 1 is down. Okay. Server 1 DHCP server is down. So server 2 is providing their own range IP address. Click on next. As you can see that now server 1 starts the IP address with 3 to 13. Okay, it's excluded as you can see that. Okay, sorry, server 1 is this. It starts the IP address with 3 to 13 and server 2, this is the server 2 second DHCP server provides the IP address between 14 to 25 like this. Okay, now click on finish. As you can see that it's completed to everything in server 3 as well. So go to server 3 now and go for just refresh. As you can see that, see my scope is there now. It's down. You can see that there is a red arrow. So I need to first active the scope over there. In split scope, we need to active the scope manually. So click on active. Now you can go for that. Now you click on advanced address pool. So my server 3 starts IP address with 14 to 25. See, 3 to 13 is excluded. Why? Because server 2 provides 3 to 13 IP addresses. 14 to 25 excluded for server 2. Okay, now if I go to my client, as you can see, we can go for testing. So how we can go for that? Like, see, I go to my CMD first. First, I remove my. Now, I need to remove now release now. Now I don't want any reservations. I delete the reservation now. I delete reservations. Okay. I delete reservations on both the servers. Okay, I don't want any reservations right now. Okay, there is no reservations now, only scope we have. Okay, there is no reservations now. Okay, now let's see. I go to my, first I go for lease. Okay, and then we can go for renew. Now let's see where it takes the IP address. So it takes 10.1.1.10 from which server? Let's see. If I check, go to right click and click on status, and we have the option details. So from server 2, okay, 10.1.1.2, from server 2 it takes the IP address 10.1.1.10 because the range is 3 to 13. Okay, so as you can see that right now it's in server 2, 10.1.1.2. okay, and the range of this is 3 to 13. So between 3 to 13 he is able to provide the IP addresses. Okay, now imagine that I stop this server now. I stop the TCP services in server 2. Okay, now let's see which range it takes. I go to, click on close. Now I go to release renew again. So I go for release first and renew again. So as you can see there, it's taking the 14 now, because the server now where it takes the IP address. I go to status and click on details. So it takes with 10.1.1.3. Now if I go to 10.1.3, so their range is between 14 to 25. Okay, so go for lease and you can see that it's providing the 14 range like this. Okay, like this your split scope is working. Understood? Fine. I start the server. Now I'm showing you how we can take the backup of the DHCP database. Okay, so if you want to take the backup, so just right click on that. We have right click on the server name and we have the option backup. Click on backup. By default it takes the backup in system 32. I don't want to take the backup in system 32. Okay, I want to take the backup on desktop. As you can see that I make one folder in desktop, DHCP backup. Okay, and click on OK. Now you can see that it's take the backup. See, okay, I can open it. There's click on new. You have the option dhcp.mdb option is there. Okay, now imagine that by mistake I delete this scope. As you can see that I right click on that, click on delete, and click on yes. Click on yes. Now you can see that my scope is deleted. Now I want to restore it with the help of backup. So I go, how we can go for that? Right click on that. We have the option restore. Click on restore. Okay. Go up, go to desktop, we have the folder name DHCP backup. Click on OK. Now in order to change this effect, the servers must be stop and restart the services. Now it's going to stop and restart the services, and you can see that after stop and restart the services, my scope is back. It automatically restored. As you can see that. You click on refresh. See, the database has restored successfully, and if I go for that, you can see that, see, the pool is everywhere, everything is fine. You can see that. Understood? Fine. Like this how we can take the backup and restore of DHCP server databases. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching.